Arthur and the main character have a conversation, and the main character's like, aren't you upset that your story is now a gay romance instead of a straight stallion romance? Aren't you upset that the, story is now targeting women instead of men? And the author's like, no. In the original concept, the male lead was supposed to be gay. Like, the main character never turned the male lead gay. Like, the male lead was already gay. But to, be able to put a roof over his head and provide himself with meals, he had to turn his gay character straight. He had to make it into a stallion romance to please the people because his other stories always flopped. And we know he's a good Arthur because of all his, plot holes. Whenever the main character came across something that he was basically driven to, push and reveal, it was discovered, oh, he's actually really good. Like, he's able to write a good story, but he was always have to, throw it to the side, forget about it, because it wasn't putting food on the table, even though it was amazing. Like, this world is beautiful because he created this beautiful world. Like, the system wanted to bring the Arthur's original story into light, and he used the main character to do it. Like, the system made sure the main character brought the original story, the original concepts to light to everybody. That everybody knew the truth, or characters that needed to know had known. Like, I love this. Like, that's my favorite part. Like, the system, I see a lot of people criticize, but again, the main character wouldn't have been able to do the stuff he did or be pushed to do the things he did because if he didn't have the system. Like, again, the system is the reason why the main character did some stuff, because again, without the system, the main character spent 5 years just roaming about. Well, sitting in dirt and then roaming about. Like, once he got the system back, he was actually forced to, again, push the plot line, push the story. And I love that. Like, the system's whole thing was to turn the story from the stallion romance into the gay romance that it was supposed to be. And I love that. Like, I see people hate upon the system, and honestly, I love the system. Like, the system didn't deserve half the things that the main character said about him. I honestly think the main character's more the problem than the system. Like, honestly, I kind of feel bad for the main system for having to deal with the main character. Because again, the main character, I love him, don't get me wrong, I love him. But again, having to deal with him would be a headache and a half for the poor system. Like, yeah, the system wasn't great, but again, the main character was kind of a headache. But I love the fact that the original concept was supposed to be this really plot-driven, gay romance, and then got turned into a, stallion romance so this poor guy could eat. It just makes me feel really bad for the Arthur. And I honestly can tell that the main character still can't get it. He can't fully understand it. I'm like, dude, that's because you came from a rich family, didn't have to fear for food, and again, you came into this story, again, never having to be afraid for food. Like, you will not, like, you need to understand, like, this poor man was starving. He ruined his own story so he could feed himself. And then you were both dragged into this world so you could fix his story and bring it to what it was originally supposed to be.